So today is August 1st of 2026. I haven't made a video since May. When I did a release video, but I'm not in a real good mood today. It being August 1st. So in 1986 of today, actually, is when my mother was at the Motel 6. Her birthday's on the 5th of August, and I keep having mixed memories, mixed emotions. I'm at a Ralph's supermarket where I had seen her appear in front of me about 3 years ago. And it always stirs that memory when I'm here. When I saw her. And it kind of freaked me out in a good way, but in a bad way too. The depression does get easier, but it comes and it goes. I have it today. I don't even want to be at work, but I have to be. A lot of good memories. Some sad. This is a sad month because this is the month where she told me that she would not be able to ever see me again, or probably not ever see me again. Although I had snuck to see her a few times. In 1992, before I attempted suicide, I had seen her one last time for about 3 hours at my aunt's house, at my great aunt's house in Norwalk, and got on my knees when my uncle came into the RV and said she had whatever amount of time to spend with me, and that was it. But the visit was about 3 hours long because my great aunt Noreen did something to her air conditioner, and my uncle had to go buy parts to fix it, and she did that on purpose so I could have that last time with her. And I got on my knees to my uncle and begged him, please don't do this to me. Why are you doing it to me? What did I do? I'm sorry. Whatever it is, I'm sorry for whatever it is that I did. And he had told me it's not what I did, it's what she did. And she wouldn't tell me at that time period what it was that she did, because I asked her, what did you do? And she wouldn't tell me. She said you wouldn't understand. But I know what it is that she did, and it had to do with me. She adopted me without his prior knowledge, but then it was a done deal, and he really had no choice but to, I'm going to say, accept it because it happened, and then waited till the day we buried Dad, her brother, to say that I was never going to see her again, which was very cruel in my mind, in my eyes. They argued and fought about it. She put me above everybody else, treated me differently, loved me a lot, and I think he felt that it wasn't right. That's why he told me the relationship I had with her was unnatural, because she didn't give birth to me. And the feelings that she had towards me wasn't something supposed to be natural. There were feelings that she couldn't even understand. She couldn't explain. She didn't know why. She was drawn so much to me through the years, and through the years after that. So I keep having the memories of stuff that happened, stuff that was said. They come and they go. Some of it I talk to with my therapist. Other times I'm just not ready to talk about things. My therapist asked me the other day, something I don't remember. Because I said that my mother hasn't come visited me in my dreams lately. It's been a while. And she said, well, you have pictures of her. You can look at her picture. Which I do every single day, every single night, every single morning. I talk to her every single day. And my therapist had said, looking at her picture isn't enough for you. And I shook my head no. Sometimes it's just not enough. I'm glad I have the pictures of her, because I never had those pictures. I never knew what she looked like as she aged. I only had a picture of her and me together, but was only of our head, right here. That, when I was 21 and she was 57. It's the only picture I had, and I got rid of it when I was in Florida, which I regret not having that picture anymore. It wasn't a good picture, it was a terrible picture, but it's the only one I had side by side of our faces. And I was mad at her for abandoning me, for telling me the year before, in 2011, that she can't ever talk to me again. And I was very hurt. I had a long conversation with her, but I was very hurt by it and mad. And I threw away that picture when I was in Florida. The only other picture I have with her, with me and her in it, is when I was 21. That's not a good picture. It's a far distant away picture at our motel, and my eyes were closed. And that's the only reason why she gave me the picture, because she didn't like the picture and I had my eyes closed. Another picture was taken with my eyes open, and that's the one she kept. And then a picture when Dad died, the day we buried him. I'm standing off to the side of her, and she's a profile of her. That's pretty much it, with me and her in it. I was never allowed to have a picture with me and her, and I was never allowed to have a picture of her. She wouldn't let me, which still I don't understand why. Evidence, maybe. Fear that her daughters in Missouri would find out who I was and start questioning, why Teresa? Or why do you love her so much? They knew that she loved me a lot. That's all they ever knew. They didn't know who I was. And she was so afraid of them to find out that I was her daughter. She didn't want to cause any hurt feelings, as she put it. And my sister-in-law, Brenda, has told me again recently that I told you, you need to put yourself in their shoes. How would it make you feel if you were them? And I try to put myself in Karen's shoes. I told her that back in March, that I want to try to understand, but I said I can't, because you guys weren't around me. The cousins weren't around me. You didn't know who I was. So when she would come to California and I was with her, and I had told her this a couple of times, it's like, I'm your only child. I'm your only daughter. You're my mother here in California. I'm your daughter in California. So inside my young mind, I was her only child. And I never thought really about anybody too much ever. I would ask how Rita and Karen were doing, how her grandchildren were, on occasion, not all the time. Because she was mine in California. She was mine when I was with her on the phone. And that's how my mind worked back then. So, just different memories. I wanted to tell a good memory. I had her when she turned 58. She worked for me at the Motel 6. It wasn't that the early August, it was later August of 1986. But her and Uncle Bud were at our motel on her birthday. And she had thought that we forgot about her birthday and we were just like playing it off. And that day she walked into my office and she'd go to the calendar and she goes, there's something about today, she goes, that's special. And I already knew it was her birthday. And I'm like, what's today? I acted like I didn't even know what today was on August 5th. And she says, come here. And she goes into my maid room that was off from our office. She goes to the calendar and she circles it with a pencil. The date, August 5th. And she goes, today is a special day. I'm like, what's so special about today? And it was like she was trying to get me to say, oh, today's your birthday. But I wouldn't. Well, Tony had ordered a cake for her. Went and got her a bouquet of flowers for me. A card, because I couldn't leave the motel. And we had it all planned. Well, that night we went to Denny's because it was adjoint to the same property as the Motel 6, just right across the parking lot. And she was in a bad mood all day, hurt mood. And I knew that. I just didn't want to come out and say, yeah, we know it's your birthday. So after dinner, after dinner, Tony had got up and went to our motel, our apartment, and got the cake out and put the flowers in a vase, had her birthday card. And so her and Uncle Bud walked me to my apartment and she said, I'm going to say goodnight. I'm not in the best of mood, and I'll see you in the morning. And I'm like going, well, you need to tuck me in and put me to bed and say my prayers. And she says, I'm not in the mood. You need to do that yourself. And I don't remember exactly how it happened, but end up coaxing her and Uncle Bud to come inside the apartment. So we walk into the apartment, and all the lights are out. And we walk in, close the door, and then on the count of 3, me and Tony said 1, 2, 3, and screamed happy birthday. And she just like looked. Because she had already had tears in her eyes. She didn't cry, but she had tears in her eyes. And I said, we didn't forget about your birthday. We knew today was your birthday. And I gave her birthday card. She glanced at it and then took it to read it later. Had a piece of cake, talked a little bit, and then she did put me to bed. She did say my prayers with me, and went to their hotel room. Well, the next day, and she took her flowers too. The next day, she had sat me down and had a talk with me and told me, don't you ever do that to me again. And I said, we surprised you. And she said, it hurt me. She said, that's why I kept saying to you, today's a special day. What's about today? Today's a special day. And how she took the pencil and she circled on the calendar in the maid's room, August 5th. I told her I was sorry, but I wanted to surprise her. That was the first birthday I had with her. Right on her birthday. I didn't realize that it would have hurt her, but it did. And I felt bad about it. I told her it would never happen again. It never happened again because I always remembered her birthday. She would be on the 5th. I think I'll have to look. 98, 97. I'll have to look that up. I think 98, because it's 2006.